All right. Imagine, if you will, that you want to build a house and you hire a project manager to be in charge of construction. And you tell the project manager that you would like a very nice bathroom. He says, don't worry, I know a gardener that can get to that. That's essentially what's happening in the United States Air Force with the 2A merger for the aircraft maintenance community. Today, I'm going to inform you about that merger and how it's scheduled to go into effect in 2027. I've been in the 2A maintenance community for almost 10 years now, and I've been researching this merger as it goes into effect next year and will be something that affects me personally. I'll now go over some of the basics of what 2A means and how many AFSCs and personnel will be affected by this. 2 Alpha is just the designated for the Air Force specialty code for maintenance. Uh, there's over 50 specialties in the 2 Alpha alone, and there's about 86,000 maintainers that are in that specialty. Those maintainers were informed on January 24th, 2025, that the 2A merger would be coming in 2 years. How is that merger going to look like, and what are the changes going to look like in 2027? Starting in 2027, there's going to be a new generalist track that they teach in tech school. So someone will go to basic training and then go to tech school. Typically, tech schools of the old style were very specialized. So you would take a 6 month course on just one type of system on one certain airframe. They are now changing that to where you will be a generalist on all airframes all the time. So it's completely swapping out what specialists were and completely erasing them until later in someone's career. So a generalist will go in and basically know how to launch and recover an aircraft and do small, common tasks instead of knowing how to do specialized tasks. Uh, what the Why the change from the United States Air Force and why they want this merger? The Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, David Flosey, stated he started the idea citing an analysis by the Air Force headquarters saying that 54 aircraft maintenance AFSCs, that only 20% of their work accounted for 80% of the actual tasks that they were signed off on. So what they're trying to do now is focus on the 80% to be the more common tasks instead of training everybody on the 20% of tasks that they'll never get to. Because in the future, if war continues to develop the way it does, we won't be using airfields that are super built up. We will be spread out, and you're going to need to know how to do more with less personnel that you have. So the idea is that if you get more people trained generally on an aircraft, then you can do more with less people. Chief Flosey said, we're not trying to squeeze 10 people's work into 5 people. He said, we're trying to have the capability for an airman to do as much as they have capacity for. Basically, just meaning he wants them to know how to do more of the little things on the jet that get it in the air than to sit there and be a specialized person for when an aircraft breaks. Because if the aircraft doesn't break and it's good and you're specialized on certain systems, then you're just a waste of a body. You need to be able to do stuff like launching, servicing, and getting a jet in the air. So in conclusion, this was some information about the 2A merger coming out in 2027, with the main points explaining that what the 2A career field is, how the change will be implemented, and why the changes were decided. In the end, the change is coming regardless if people want it or not. It's been an 18-month program to implement it. And get it developed. They also brought the career field managers in for every single 2A AFSC that was there. And with some time, we'll be able to see if this implementation will be successful or not, but it's very hard to see if it's going to be successful until later, until we can see it 1 or 2 years down the road to see if the Air Force will stick with this new implementation or if they will revise it or if they'll just get rid of it in the next 2 years.